Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to a little Marvel Heroes action with your host, Asthenosis. This game has been... how can I put this simply? I've been really excited for this game. I mean, it's been a long time since I played a good, Marvel game. Aside from, what you could get on Facebook. And this one really excited me. When I heard about it, I did the research, and I even went as far as to purchase one of the good Founders Packs, which guaranteed me beta access because I wanted to really enjoy it. Now, what my dumb self did not know is a couple weeks ago they removed the NDA, so I'm just now recording, and I didn't really have much time to, play much last week, but I'm trying to get back in the groove. So, here we are. And I am grounding and pounding with Colossus. Now, some of you may be wondering why the hell I'm not playing with Captain America, because you have probably heard and of course seen by my shirts and stuff like that I freaking adore Captain America. He's pretty much my favorite hero. But Colossus is also one of my favorites, and the thing about Colossus is he's kind of OP. I mean, he doesn't do a lot of damage, but he's a tank. Like, he is straight up a tank. He even has an ability that will, for one, taunt everything in a certain radius to come and attack you, and it will increase your defense when you do that. And, of course, that meter that you see up above my experience bar, the yellow one that keeps growing slightly, the blue one just above is, excuse me, that is an armor bar. That helps me not take damage. That depletes first. Now, the reason why I'm going more with Colossus now is, if you haven't noticed, just by watching me play just a wee bit, enemies come. They just swarm. I mean, you see the gameplay is very much like Diablo and Torchlight, which is freaking cool, to play a game like that, but within the Marvel Universe. I was excited for this, definitely. I mean, when I saw it, I was like, this better not be a MOBA. I know a lot of people like MOBAs, but I wanted it to be something different. And as you notice, this is an MMO. Those people are not on my team. They're just around. I mean, you can group up because there are instances, which I will try and get to a couple later on in another, episode or something. But, yeah, I mean, the reason why I'm going with Colossus, like I was saying, is... Some of you know I've not been very active lately and over the past few months because of the birth of my son, plus school was getting crazy. Finally graduated, and then after that, it was the job hunt. An adjustment, lots and lots of adjustments. And now that my son is a lot more mobile, and he's about to be a year next month, he takes my attention away from the game a lot. So I have to leave, and at least as Colossus, I can walk away from my keyboard and come back and not be dead. Because a couple of betas ago, or beta weekends rather, I was playing as various other characters, and I would walk away because he'd start acting a fool and getting into something he shouldn't be. I had to walk away, come back, boom, I'm dead, or getting revived, or already respawned at a checkpoint or something. So Colossus just seems like a very good way to go. But that's not to say that he always does a ton of damage. He doesn't have a whole lot of spirit. He's built like a tank. He's meant to be a protector. He's not an attacker. I mean, yes, he can, of course, hurt you, and some of his attacks do, massive damage. But that's not his focus. His focus is, in this game at least, is defense. I don't really remember too much like in, Marvel Ultimate Alliance or... any games like that. Of course, then you have the old school X-Men games from the arcade, and well, there was really no tanking or whatever. Everybody was just kind of like, well, they had a special, and it was a matter of who did you want to play as. Which, by the way, I actually got on the PlayStation Network, and if you guys have never played it, if you want to, feel a little nostalgic. I think it was just a few dollars, maybe $10 tops, I don't know. And you can play up to 6 players, which I thought was odd, but whatever. At least I do believe there are 6 heroes to play as in that game. But yeah, I mean, this game, lots of fun. my chief complaint is that it tends to get really laggy, and the fact that they are constantly patching it will kind of mess up your gameplay sometimes at the moment. And I don't know if this is going to be a constant thing or if just because it's in beta, but you'll be playing and all of a sudden it'll get really choppy and it'll slow down, and you think you're attacking something but nothing's happening, and then you just log out and then you see, oh, there was some more to patch, some more patching to go, and it's disruptive. But it is in beta, it is still in development, nothing's perfect. I mean, we've all seen what happened with like Diablo 3 and various other games when they first started. Hell, Torchlight 2, you couldn't even play multiplayer, right off the bat. And I'm pretty sure, with the aim of this game, of course, considering that it is technically an MMO, you're able to play with a bunch of people right off the bat. So, I'm going to be interested to see how it goes on launch day, depending on how many people, of course, are looking for it. And by the way, if you guys did not know, it is an open beta weekend. So if you go and you Google Marvel Heroes and you go to their website, if you register for a beta, you should get one within like 24 hours. And this beta goes, I believe, until Monday. So if you are interested and you love the Marvel Universe, and you want to get up in on this, check it out. And here you see, the stat window. It looks just like, your traditional stat window. The loot is shared among all your characters, and depending on your meters there with your stats, it has different effects. Like, say for example, at the bottom you see intelligence. If you had only one bar, I think you get like a minus 20% to experience earned or whatever. So it's kind of, you gotta take a lot of things into effect. Luckily, of course, there is a store that you can, get your, sorry, brain fart. Experience potions. Yeah, I believe it's 150 of their points. I don't recall what they're called. But yes, those will give you experience boosts for an hour. And now, one thing I do like about this, the loot will sometimes, I don't remember if this happened in Torchlight or Diablo, but they'll grant you, your equipment will sometimes grant you certain abilities at a certain skill level, which I don't like as much as the alternative, which is a plus to a certain skill point, because to me that's more beneficial. Because what happens if you've already spent the points and you already have that? Well, they don't stack, so then you're stuck, and then you basically have to try and find a new piece of equipment to replace what you already have. So loot drops are the same as ever as any other game like this, with like Diablo and Torchlight. You don't always get great gear, but sometimes you can get some pretty good gear. And one thing I can say that definitely separates it is there's never a shortage of enemies. But then that's also because it's an MMO. It's not like Torchlight or Diablo, or I think Titan's Quest plays pretty much similar, where you kill the enemies on the map and that's it, they're gone until you leave the map or whatever, come back later or come back at a different difficulty. No, you kill these enemies, they keep respawning, so it's like a never-ending cycle. Now here you see the hero roster. These are some of the heroes that I've already gotten. Oh, and I even leveled up, so I can show you guys a little bit about the so-called talent trees, if you will. But yeah, so what they've been doing with these beta weekends is they've been giving points pretty much for every special weekend that they've had, which allows you to buy heroes, or buy costumes, buy whatever little vanity items that you want. Now, on the flip side, if you get a certain premium pack or the ultimate pack, any premium pack, depending on who it is, you get everything of a certain character, and a couple other bonuses. The ultimate pack, every hero that would be available within the game upon release, you automatically get, along with all of their costumes. And to be honest, that's what I ended up getting, because I had a lot of faith in this game, and I'm a huge fan of the Marvel Universe, and I just happened to have a little bit saved up to blow. kind of digs into other funds money, but whatever. I don't really get to go do much anyway because my son is crazy. But yeah, so I'm trying to get to a bit of a safe place so I can show you guys, because I was kind of confused how you change characters. I was sitting there trying to chat about it, and when I very first got on the beta, and I'm like, hey, how do you do this? Like, how do you change characters? Hello. So I'm gonna go ahead and give a demonstration for those of you, if you haven't figured it out yet, or you're just interested in seeing how it's done because you haven't touched the game. But you basically open up your roster and you double click, and you'll see it here in a moment. But so you got my 3 trees. The first one is, from what I can tell, all about damage dealing. The second one is tanky abilities, and the third one is utility. So Colossus is fairly diverse because he provides buffs to his team, 1 aura, per Colossus in your group. And the one I use is an attack one because I already have enough defense as it is for now, until I fight something crazy that requires more, and then I'll worry about that later. But I tend to stack a lot of the tanky ones, like I said, because of the fact that my son tends to pull me away from this game. And I don't like having to come back to a dead freaking character. And there was no change to my defense with what I did, but my armor, the damage meter that goes down initially before my health does, did go up a little bit. Again, like I think 10, 20 points or something like that. It was at 180, now it's at 200. So the higher you get that, the better it is, and you just basically avoid damage. Now those are the heroes that are available in beta. There's actually a few missing, like Luke Cage, Cable, Omega, Emma Frost. They're not yet in the beta. And then here, boom, I am switching over to Captain America, who's currently on level 1. If I tried to get into a fight with something right now, I would get obliterated, and that would not be cool. And of course, as you can see, like I mentioned earlier, shared loot. So what I'm going to do here is put on a Venom medal, because those are what you get for mini bosses, and I'll try and make sure I get something demonstrated, and they constantly respawn, so you can get good ones, basically farm them over and over. And what that Venom medal does is, if he drops to half health or below half health, he gets a major buff. So anyway, I do hope you guys enjoy this content. Like I said, get on the website, register, check this game out. I highly recommend it, and I hope you guys have an outstanding evening. Take care.